What's happening, Hardwood Nation? Welcome to episode 2 of Hardwood Heroes. I'm your host, Sean Neidig. This past week was full of huge matchups and huge performances, so that means that we have a huge show for you. Don't change that station because for the next 28 minutes, it will be all TVC basketball knowledge. So without waiting any longer, let's tip it off. Before we get any further, let's look at where our teams stand in their conferences. In the TVC Ohio, the Vinton County Vikings are now in sole possession of first place in the conference after Meigs lost to Alexander. The Vikings are 9th in the state in Division II and will have a huge game next week against the Marauders. Now moving over to the Hocking, the Trimble Tomcats are still undefeated in conference play after beating previously unbeaten Waterford. The Eastern Eagles are also making moves in the standings. The Eagles went 2-0 this week and are on a 3-game winning streak. And keeping it in the Hocking, but switching over to the girls, the Waterford Lady Wildcats still have not lost a game this season and are the number 1 ranked team in the state. The Lady Eagles are tied for second after a 2-0 week. And moving back to the Ohio, the Nelsonville York Lady Buckeyes remain at the top at 7-1. Right behind them, though, are the Lady Vikings and Lady Spartans at 6-2. You should know their faces by now. Our 2 online hosts, Josh Gregory and Danny Dean, are here to give you a peek at our show. Guys, what have you got?
Sean, there were a lot of changes in the TVC rankings this week.
That's right. We have a big show for you, so let's get right to it. In a few minutes, Meigs reporter Andrew Homan will give you the secrets behind the Lady Marauders' recent success, as well as how the boys plan to bounce back after a big loss on Friday. And speaking of success, the Trimble boys remain atop the TVC Hocking after a huge win over Waterford, while the girls reclaim their winning record. David Michael will give you your Tomcat fix.
Stick with us. Megan Stamper and Taylor Nimmo have the scoop on the Eastern boys' first 3-win streak in 2 years, and they'll recap a solid week for the Lady Eagles. Next, Eric Threet will talk some Fed Hawk. The Lady Lancers picked up a huge win over Wahama, while the boys have lost 5 out of their last 6 games.
Moving over to the boys and girls in NY, the girls had a huge win over Vinton County. Justin Holbach will talk about the impact that game had on TVC standings and the curse of the guys' 9-game losing streak. The Lady Vikings also had a huge win. Corbin Bagford and Matt Stevens will recap that game as well as explain how the boys bounced back from their first loss.
Those Alexander Lady Spartans had a tough overtime loss this week. Joseph Payton was there, and he'll tell us more about that emotional night. He's also breaking down the boys' slow-paced style. And to bring it home, Patrick Klinger will point out the opposition in Athens with the advancement of the boys and the faults of the girls.
And don't forget, at the end of the show, we have the new Heroes of the Week, and there were a lot of heroic performances since our last show, which made our job pretty tough. But we can't wait to reveal our picks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see who you guys chose. Look forward to hearing you later on in the show. Going into Friday night, the Meigs Marauders were undefeated. Tonight, they're not. Now I'm joined by Andrew Homan. And Andrew, it's safe to say that the Marauders are not a fan of playing out in the alley in Alexander.
That can't be more true, Sean. 2 days, 2 losses at Alexander. The Marauders' undefeated campaign may be over, but this first loss comes just in time for Meigs to learn some lessons before the matchup with Vinton County. The Marauders, we know they can keep up in a shootout, and that was basically the first half of the game against the Spartans. But the problems came down low. Chase Harris and Corey Chapman combined for 29 points, and their offensive rebounds were a deciding factor. The Marauders aren't outsized vertically, but tall men like Jared Kennedy and Jackson Meadows can't body up some of the more physical players they face. And that will be the biggest challenge Tuesday when they try to make Chase Wood a non-factor. But the Marauders do have a lot on their side. Let's not forget, these guys are 11-1 right now. Meigs' offensive balance is their biggest advantage. They have a handful of guys that can score 15 to 20 points on a given night. But the bottom line is, if Meigs fights for rebounds and has a solid night shooting, the Marauders can regain their top spot at the top of the TVC Ohio.
Yeah, that's going to be a really important game for Meigs. But what's behind the Lady Marauders' success this past week?
Well, coaches always talk about finishing the season better than you start, and that's exactly what Meigs coach Scott Cleland is doing over the course of the season. The Lady Marauders' improvement was most evident against River Valley. Meigs' offense was simply unproductive when the teams played in December. Round 2 was a different story, though. Back-to-back three-pointers from Cassidy Betzing and Madison Fields in the third quarter sparked the Lady Marauders' victory. A 45-point swing is nothing to mess with. And then against Alexander, the Lady Marauders may have lost by 23, but it was still a solid improvement. 18 of those points were given up in the third quarter, and Alexander was held to a shooting percentage of 22. No surprise with the Meigs' dominant defense. A player that especially stood out this week was Devin Humphreys. She's missed a lot of the season due to illness, but she can shoot and play well down low. Alexander coach Corey McKnight referred to Humphreys as an added dimension and said Meigs was a lot better the second time around. The biggest difference in these rematches is Meigs' patience on the offensive end. Between Humphreys and the improved offense, Meigs is on a new campaign.
Yeah, we'll see if that campaign can continue. Thanks a lot, Andrew. If you've been following the Hardwood Heroes Snapchat this week, you've seen that our reporters are snapping a game a night and giving you behind-the-scenes look at that game. And if you haven't been following our Snapchat, you should. Look us up under the username Hardwood Heroes, and in addition to content at games, you'll also get exclusive peeks at the show that we're doing right now, and maybe you'll even see me reading this. From 2 losses to 2 wins, the Trimble Lady Tomcats had a total turnaround from last week. And now Trimble reporter David Michael joins me now. So David, what caused this turnaround?
Sean, I have 6 words for you: Nikki Kish, Morgan Murphy, and Emily Ward. I had their numbers on my Powerball ticket this week because they were bringing in the wins. After losing to the top 2 teams in the Hocking last week, these 3 girls were definitely fired up. In the first game of the week, the Lady Tomcats topped the Miller Falcons 54-42. However, those 3 girls alone could have outscored Miller 45-42. The team did not let up on the Lady Falcons, forcing over 20 turnovers. It was the same story 2 days later when they faced off against Federal Hocking. The Lady Tomcats put on even more pressure and this time forced 30 turnovers. Head coach Joe Richards is a big fan of the 21 press, and once again, they had a strong front court. Kish and Murphy both had double-doubles on the night. Kish had 20 points and 14 rebounds, and even with a Lancer on her at all times, she was still getting every rebound that came her way. Murphy put up another 15 points and 11 boards. Emily Ward also had a significant contribution with 9 points and 2 defensive rebounds.
So it looks like the team's going to end their season on a high note.
I would say so, strong, Sean. This was the first time we've seen them play a full, strong 32 minutes. They've already broken their win count from last year, and it's a huge step from 2 years ago when they only had 2 wins. Joe Richards has really done some great things with this team.
Yeah, and then how about if the boys they also played, they had the biggest game in the TVC Hocking this week.
It was a defensive dogfight against Waterford. Both teams played aggressive and really poured on the pressure. The Wildcats had bigger players and made it a real battle for boards. The Tomcats were visibly getting frustrated at the end of the first half, causing some unnecessary fouls and silly mistakes. However, after a meeting in the locker room, it seemed that cooler heads prevailed.
Some of the pressure that they put on, it affected some of our guys. We got out of our conventional ways, lost some of our discipline and our focus, and we regrouped at halftime, came out with a better plan in the second half.
Going into the second half, Trimble was still aggressive. However, they also resumed taking their time lining up shots. They won the third quarter 19-11, but it was still a constant fight until the very end of the game. Guthrie led the team with a double-double with 21 points and 10 rebounds.
Now, you say Guthrie, but the other name that I've been hearing is Randy Hickson.
Sean, you're absolutely right. Randy Hickson was a key player. He stayed outside the arc the entire night, going 4 for 5 and putting up 12 points. One of his shots tied the game with only 10 seconds to go and helped Trimble force it into overtime and ultimately win the game.
Yeah, so Trimble's going to take that 24-game win streak into next week. Thanks a lot, David. The easiest place to find up-to-the-minute TVC basketball coverage is our Twitter account, @HardwoodHeroes. Each and every night of the week, we have reporters at games throughout the conference, and for updates, stats, recaps, and more, our page is the only place to go for all the coverage that you need. Remember that you can also follow my host account, @HHost_Sean, and be sure to connect with us and share your pictures from games as well. And who knows, you could see your tweet on our air. Despite missing one of their key starters, the Eastern Lady Eagles have remained towards the top of the TVC Hocking. Eastern reporters Taylor Nimmo and Megan Stamper join me now. And ladies, how have the Eagles handled this adversity?
Sean, after losing to Meigs last Saturday, the Lady Eagles bounced back with a win over the Southern Tornadoes. It wasn't pretty, but a win is a win.
Because of Southern's defensive pressure on Laura Pollins, the rest of the team was forced to step up offensively. Laura only finished with 2 points, but she made her presence felt in other aspects of the game.
Exactly, Taylor. She made a difference on defense with her 9 rebounds and also had 4 assists. Coach John Burdett said that the ability of other girls on the team to step up when Laura is not having a good game speaks a lot about the maturity of their team.
And this team has had to grow up fast with the absence of sophomore guard Madison Williams. She strained her MCL, and unfortunately, it looks like she will be out for a couple more weeks. But some other players have recently stepped up for the Eagles.
One of those players is freshman Jess Parker, who has taken over Williams' spot while she is out. But veteran Liz Collins is going to have to keep up her solid performances. Her stats may never jump off the page at you, but she is always reliable down low.
In their win over Miller on Thursday night, Laura found her rhythm offensively and scored 12 points. And while the girls have been adjusting, the boys accomplished something they haven't done in over 2 years.
A huge accomplishment, Taylor. The Eagles won back-to-back games for the first time since Coach Jeremy Hill began at Eastern. They beat Federal Hocking on January 8th and beat Southern on the road on Tuesday.
Not only did they have their first win streak in over 2 seasons, this is also their first road win in that same time. After the win against Southern, Coach Hill said it seemed like he was watching the team mature before his own eyes.
And that maturity starts with Jet Facemeyer and Dylan Swatzel. After battling injuries last season, Swatzel has remained healthy this year and is a huge contributor on both sides of the ball. He's a main reason why Eastern was able to get their third consecutive win, 67-61 over Miller.
Definitely a huge win on Friday night. It went into double overtime. Cam Richmond stepped up in the final minutes and helped lead for the Eagles' third straight win.
Richmond had 6 straight points in the last quarter before he fouled out, along with Dylan Swatzel and 2 other Eagles. If Eastern keeps this momentum up, they have a good shot to pick up 2 more wins against Belpre and Wahama this week.
Yeah, guys, I'll definitely be looking forward to see if they can keep their winning ways intact. Thanks a lot. The Federal Hocking Lady Lancers had a week to forget, with the boys and girls only picking up 1 win between them. Eric Threet joins me now, and Eric, there's really only one Fed Hawk player that stands out.
You're not wrong about that, Sean. It's hard to talk Fed Hawk basketball without mentioning AJ Cobb. He's the fuel to the Lancer train, car, bus, whatever the Lancers roll in, he gets them going. Cobb is an athlete. He has the ability to get to the bucket, knock down outside shots, but his ability to pass the ball is what separates him from the other bucket getters in the Tri-Valley Conference. But when the Lancers struggle, it normally falls on his shoulders. In their loss to Southern Friday, Cobb had 6 assists and 6 steals, but he went 5 for 21 from the field. When you compile that shooting performance with the Lancers' interior defense, or lack thereof, it will be hard to win games like it was for them this week. The Lancers took 2 more L's, which lowers their record to 3-10. Fed Hawk, they just got eaten up on the inside this week. They couldn't secure a rebound in their loss to Miller on Wednesday, and due to tornado penetration Friday, Lancer center Carter Russell picked up 4 fouls in the third quarter against Southern. And when I say penetration, the Tornadoes were in the lane at will, specifically Southern guard Tyler Blevins. This man dropped 25 on Fed Hawk, and he was 10 of 11 from the free throw line. I can only think of 1 3 that he made that was a buzzer beater at the end of the third quarter, but everything else was from up close. The Lancers have to make it harder on opposing offenses by forcing tough shots so that they can get the fast break going, which will convert to easier and higher percentage shots.
So have the Lady Lancers fared any better?
They went 1-1 this week, which is good, but they would love to pick up a win that isn't against Wahama. They posted a 2-13 record, no wins against teams that aren't named Wahama, and just like the boys' teams, they force missed shots, but they have to finish the possession with a rebound. And finally, the Lancers have X factors, and I will explain what I mean by that. Now, despite their subpar record, they are a smart team. The plays Coach Tolson has them running creates open shots, and they have players that can knock them down. The question becomes, who's going to show up today? Because it seems like a new scorer or a new X factor comes up every game. Destiny Tabler, Hannah Dunphy, Miranda Scott, Skylar Hatfield, Chelsea Walburn, the list goes on and on. Those are just a few names, but only 1 or 2 of them will show up on a particular day. Against Trimble on Thursday, as a team, they made none of their 12 threes, in addition to 3 of 11 from the free throw line. If the whole team was efficient on the same day, at the same time, at the same game, there'll be more wins in the win column. And they also have a very energized fan base, something that not all teams can say that they have. So if Federal Hocking can establish the flow to their game, a little consistency, they'll be able to find that winning formula, Sean.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get those consistent performances. Thanks, Eric. If you follow our links on Twitter, you will land on our YouTube page, WEBPBS. There you can find all of the recaps from games throughout the week with our reporters and online hosts. Our full show will also be posted on our page, so you can share that and individual segments from the show with your family and friends. On last week's show, Justin Holbrook talked about the importance of the girls' game between the Nelsonville York and Vinton County this past Thursday. So would you look at that? Here he is again to break down that game. So Justin, how did the Lady Buckeyes come away with this huge conference win?
Sean, it was all about defense and the Lady Buckeyes' 20-point win over Vinton County. In the first quarter, the Lady Vikings didn't score a single point, with NY jumping out to a 12-point lead. They held Vinton County to a season-low 31 points by using constant pressure and allowing Michaela Puckett to score more while locking her teammates down. Puckett finished with 20 points, while the rest of the team only mustered 2 baskets.
The Lady Buckeyes' first quarter lead increased after every single quarter, despite Jessie Addis missing 10 free throws and scoring only 4 points in the first 3 quarters. That didn't stop her from playing almost the whole game, still leading her team on defense while also grabbing 8 rebounds. Tori Campbell filled in for her in the scoring department, pouring in 16 points and snagging 8 rebounds of her own. After the game, Coach Whiteman told us they felt disrespected after Vinton County beat his team in overtime. He said Vinton County made the comment that Alexander had to come through them for the league title, pretty much writing off NY after the 3rd game of the season. He said the girls were motivated to let everyone know they were still fighting, and that's exactly what they did on Thursday.
So Justin, what does that win mean for the TVC Ohio going forward?
Well, that's where it gets a little tricky, Sean. If the girls win out, then it's simple. They win the conference. But we could be looking at a 3-way tie if Alexander and Vinton County both win their last 4 conference games. That shouldn't be hard for Vinton County to do, but Alexander has to beat the Lady Buckeyes at Nelsonville York on January 28th for that tie to happen. And Sean, if NY does win the conference, then it will be their first TVC Ohio title in 10 years. But no matter what happens, these last 3 weeks are going to be interesting in a league previously dominated by Athens.
So the wins are coming a little bit easier for the girls, but not so much for the guys.
Yeah, it was another rough start to the week for NY when it lost by 24 points to Athens on Tuesday. The Buckeyes were held to under 50 points for the 5th time this year in that game, while also giving up 71 to the Bulldogs. Give Athens credit because they shot the ball really well, but NY gave up 13 offensive rebounds. The week didn't get much better as Wellston beat the Buckeyes by 18, snapping the Rockets' 27-game losing streak in the TVC Ohio. Part of the problem is that Hunter Edwards and Aaron Davis score half of the team's points on any given night. Sean, the good news is that in the latter part of next week, River Valley and Southern is what NY is going to play. They have a combined record of 4 wins and 21 losses.
So what do you think is going to be the biggest key for the boys to turn this thing around?
Well, I mentioned that Aaron Davis scores a lot of the points for the team. They just need other people to step up. He's been really good for the Buckeyes, but no one else seems to score, and there's a lot of turnovers. So they need to clean up turnovers, and they also have to stop teams from scoring as much because over 70 points 7 times this year, it's not good, Sean.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get those wins next week against some easier opponents. Thanks, Justin. We're a little more than halfway through our show, so don't touch that dial just yet. Coming up in just a few minutes, Joseph Payton will join me to talk about the huge games played this week by the Alexander Spartans. Plus, Patrick Klinger would join me, and when he isn't complimenting my polo, he knows a lot about the Athens Bulldogs. And finally, Danny and Josh will close out the show by crowning their boys and girls Heroes of the Week. And it was not easy for them to pick just one. It's been an up and down week for both Vinton County squads, so here to break down the Vikings are Matt Stevens and Corbin Bagford. They've seen some milestone for the girls, but we'll start with the boys first. Just one game for them this week, but it was a big one, right, Corbin?
Yeah, right, Sean. Vinton County suffered its first loss of the season last Saturday on a buzzer-beating 3-pointer to Logan, and no game Tuesday due to the snow, so they had to wait a long time, but you could tell that the Vikings were hungry to get back on the court. They coasted to an 83-56 home victory over River Valley, and really the difference maker for the Vikings in this one were their second chance points.
Yeah, Corbin, the Vikings really excelled on the offensive boards. What really stuck out to me was that they were following their shots, something that's preached at all levels of basketball but rarely practiced.
Exactly, Matt, and it really was a team rebounding effort. Not just one guy was doing it for the Vikings, and it really looked like they wanted it more. That 83 points tied for a season high, and 4 Vikings finished with double-digit point totals, led by Tristan Bartow with 21, and now they'll look ahead to that formerly undefeated Meigs Marauders. They were supposed to play them this Tuesday, and now they're playing them this upcoming Tuesday, and Meigs actually lost to Alexander on Friday.
And for the girls, the last time the Lady Vikings beat the Alexander Lady Spartans, Michaela Puckett was a sophomore. Flash forward 2 years later to Monday night, and cue Puckett for the best game of her career. Puckett put on a clinic, dropping 34 points and scoring her 1,000th career point.
And those 34 points are nothing new for Puckett. She's been a 4-year starter for the Lady Vikings and an offensive leader throughout that time.
Vinton County was down 12 points entering the fourth quarter, and in the huddle, Coach Rod Bentley told his girls this had to be the most intense minutes of basketball in their entire lives. And it truly was, as the Alexander buzzer beater did not fall, and the Lady Vikings escaped with a 71-69 victory in overtime.
Puckett was overcome by emotion after the game and revealed a little bit about the closeness the Lady Vikings feel for their coach and each other. She said, quote, "We have a lot of heart-to-hearts with our coach. He loves to express the word love, and that's what our team played with, is just love and heart for the game and ourselves." You know, Puckett's always consistent for those Lady Vikings, and she had another good game on Thursday, scored 20 points, but didn't have much help against Nelsonville York.
Puckett scored 20 points, but the Lady Vikings looked like a completely different team on Thursday night, losing to Nelsonville York 51-31. Vinton County took the night off offensively, and the Lady Vikings were completely shut out in the first quarter, 12-0. The team failed to make a three-pointer in the entire contest, and beyond the play of Puckett, Vinton County only scored 2 additional field goals.
This one's kind of an odd one. As Justin pointed out, last time these two teams faced off at Vinton County defeated Nelsonville York by 10 in overtime, but this one obviously a much different story. And with the loss, Lady Vikings are now tied for second in the TVC Ohio behind those Lady Buckeyes.
I'm looking forward to see how the season shapes up. Thanks, guys. The Alexander Spartans had a big week this week, and here to break it down is Alexander reporter Joseph Payton. So how did it go for the boys on Tuesday at Jackson?
Well, Sean, they beat the Ironmen 49-41 and were in total control of the entire game. Alexander, they're not a run-and-gun, up-tempo style basketball team, and they're very patient on offense to make sure that they get the shot that they want, and that can really just wear down opposing defenses. It's just their style of play, and although they have a slow-tempo style, that doesn't mean that they can't run the floor. Seth Richardson pushed the ball up the floor many times after pulling down 6 rebounds in the game, and he finished well at the rim in transition and in the half court, dropping 17 points, and 14 of those came in the second half. Mason Chapman also aided in the offensive production as he scored 14 and handed out 3 assists. A very solid game for him as well, Sean.
So after beating Jackson's, the Spartans welcomed undefeated Meigs into Albany on Friday.
That's right, and the Spartans were definitely up to that challenge. Mason Chapman absolutely went off in the 80-69 victory with 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. And man, he was really piped up out there in this game. Corey Chapman also had a solid 13-point, 6-rebound night and a huge win for the Spartans as they handed Meigs their very first loss of the season.
So that's a big-time win for the boys, but how about the girls?
Well, Sean, they didn't really get started the way they would have liked to. Leah Richardson against Vinton County had a solid 22-point game, pacing Alexander to a 12-point lead heading into the fourth quarter, but then foul trouble kept her on the bench in the last period, and that's when Michaela Puckett took over. Puckett's hot hand allowed Vinton County to take the lead, and Alexander had to push this game into overtime, but only to fall by a final score of 71-69. Puckett finished the game with 34 points, and her performance down the stretch really ended up being the difference in this one, Sean.
Yeah, so very tough loss for the Lady Spartans, but how did they bounce back on Thursday?
Well, they bounced back against Meigs with a 49-26 win in front of their home crowd, and that was just what they needed. The Lady Spartans didn't really light it up from the floor, but they got the job done at the free throw line. Leah Richardson scored 13 of her total 17 points at the line, and the Lady Spartans made 20 of 26 total. Freshman guard Rachel Richardson provided most of the offense besides from the free throw line, and she added 12 points. Despite beating the Lady Marauders by 23, Alexander only took a 3-point lead into halftime, though.
And in the first half, I wasn't sure. I felt like we knew we were just going to go through the motions and we were going to win based on talent, whereas in the second half, I thought we were going to win based on pure effort.
Now you know, Sean, Alexander has a tall task next week as they host #1 ranked Waterford on Monday night.
That's going to be a huge game, Joseph. Thanks for the great work. Our show may only be half an hour long, but all of our segments live online forever. Head on over to woub.org/heroes to rewatch segments of the show as well as the full episode. There you will also find videos and written recaps for every single game that we cover throughout the week with picture slideshows. You can also look at all of the other sports and click around to find news stories that are important to you being covered here at WOUB. Perhaps the 2 most consistent teams as of late are the ones in Athens. And Patrick Klinger joins me now. That leads to some good news and also some bad news.
Yeah, that's right, Sean. You know, the good news for the fans in the Plains is that the boys team extended their 3-game winning streak this week. But the bad news is that the girls team is still riding an 8-game losing streak. Now I'll get the bad news out of the way for those of you at home. The Lady Bulldogs hosted conference-leading Nelsonville York, and if that wasn't tough enough, they were shorthanded. Claire DeBruin did not play due to a concussion she suffered at Vinton County, and Olive Harder was out with an illness. And they both played big-time minutes, Sean, so that really hurt them offensively.
Yeah, and it did not get much better for the green and gold. They really struggled to put up points.
Oh, no doubt. NY held them to just 3 first-quarter points, and to be blunt, Sean, the Lady Bulldogs played very poorly on the offensive end in the 57-21 loss. There were times that they had wide-open layups and just simply missed. You know, at one point, I heard Coach Paul McNeil yell out, "I can't make them for you." You know, and to go along with their 30 turnovers, it just wasn't their night. You know, last week on the show, I talked about Coach McNeil's process for this team this season, and after the game, he said that nothing has changed.
Everybody wants to win. You know, there's not a coach that's going to go in their game and say, "Oh, well, I think our plan is we're going to lose this by 20." So for us, however, we understand that we're behind the 8 ball every single night. So we have to continue to work on things which are going to may not help us today, but try to help us in the future.
Now, on a lighter note for Bulldogs fans, the boys team returned the favor to NY as they picked up another TVC Ohio win on Tuesday, 71-47. And Sean, Athens was dominant. And for one of the few games this season, they shot the ball really well from outside. In particular, Dalton Cozart. He came out of the gates on fire. He had 11 of his 16 total points in the first quarter. He was looking like Steph Curry out there, splashing home 4 of his 5 threes. After the game, I caught up with head coach Jeff Skinner, and he joked that Cozart really doesn't say a whole lot in the locker room, but he could tell that the sophomore is having a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, and that's kind of refreshing because we always seem to be talking about Griffin Lutz.
Oh, don't worry, Sean. Lutz got his. He quietly worked his way close to a triple-double with 23 points, 9 boards, and 7 assists. But, he had help, though. 9 Bulldogs found themselves in the score sheet, and they're one of the hottest teams out there right now. And, Sean, they now have a full week before their next matchup, and they have a monumental showdown coming up against the one-loss Meigs Marauders on the 22nd.
Yeah, we'll see if they can carry this momentum into that long break. Thanks, Patrick. To finish out our show, Danny and Josh are back to announce the Heroes of the Week. With so many great games, we all want to know your picks. So, Danny, how about you start it off? Who do you got?
Well, I got my ladies this week, and I am crowning Eastern's Elizabeth Collins as the girls' Hero of the Week. The Lady Eagles needed another player to step up and lead the team, and Collins did just that. Check this. Monday against Southern, Collins was the only Lady Eagle to make a basket in the first half, scoring all of Eastern's 8 points. And she went on to help pull her team out of an 18-8 deficit at the end of the half. She rounded out the game with 12 points and 6 boards, and that momentum moved on to Thursday when Collins hit 10 points in their win over Miller. Gotta say it, I do not expect Liz to slow down her role anytime soon.
It's true that the Eastern Eagles, they have a lot of offensive weapons, but surprise, surprise, so do the guys. They must be eating their veggies out in Reedsville because Dylan Swatzel has become a scoring machine for the Eastern boys, and that is why he is our Hero of the Week. In their first win on the road against Southern, Swatzel emerged as the offensive leader the Eagles have needed all season long. He dropped 21 points and grabbed 5 boards, and he took that ferocious play into Friday, where he led the Eagles to a double overtime win, 67-61 over Miller. He tallied 17 points, shooting 8 for 13 from the field, and he also scored the first 4 points in overtime. This is the first time in Coach Hill's tenure that the boys have won 3 straight games, and much of that credit goes to Swatzel.
There are so many outstanding players in the TVC, we don't want to miss a beat. So we want you at home to have a voice in our weekly decision. If you see a heroic performance, tweet at us using the hashtag HOTW, and we'll add them to our Player of the Week watch list.
Guys, I can't wait to see who steps up next week. Thanks a lot, and look forward to talking to you in the future. The clock shows all zeros for episode 2, so unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for you this week. So until next Sunday, you can keep up with your favorite TVC teams by following us on Twitter and Snapchat, and by visiting our website and YouTube pages. We'll also be back on the air next Sunday at 11 with analysis of all the big conference games this upcoming week. Until then, though, I'm your host, Sean Neidig, reminding you to be heroic.